So we're back on third gen content. I figured we'd do a quick easy video today. This is just for fun. I eventually want to do a S&B air intake, and but for right now we're going to see if removing the silencer ring and the baffle that's inside of the intake actually does any difference at all. Like I said, it's not a permanent setup. If I don't like it, I'll just put it back in. But eventually the mirrors need put back on, the boost auto ones, and I have a few other mods coming for it. I got to pay off the biggest mod that I just did, but like I said, this is for fun. So I'm gonna start the truck up. I'll do a couple revs, and then we'll go for a small drive, and then I'll do an after to see if you hear anything at all. So like I said, it's cold here, and where's the temp gauge? There it is. The truck's still cold, so I'm not gonna rev the complete piss out of it, but let me turn high idle off. See if you can hear any really, you can't hear any turbo whistle until about 1500 RPM. Once we get on the road, I will take another video of it, but the phone's probably not going to be able to pick it up. I don't know if you could pick that up, but it's very slightly whistling. I do have a Smarty Junior on this, and I think I have it on the 90 horsepower tune. That's as high as it will go. But let me get it into overdrive and kind of push down on it, see if we can make any noise. You're probably only hearing the motor. There's overdrive. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not. Like I said, this is just for fun because I'm bored. If I hate it, it goes back in. If not, it will stay until I get my intake. So as you can tell, this is a stock intake. In order to get this off, you'll have to take this hose clamp off. You have to unhook the connector there, and down there on the, let me grab the light. Down there on the snout of the turbo is another clamp. Unscrew that, pulled out the silencer ring. I'll show you that here in a minute. And then I'll also show you inside of this bulky piece of the intake, that's where your silencer is. I don't want to call it a silencer. That's where your baffle is. So let me pull this off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, I also do have an intake horn. I don't know if that helps with some of the turbo noise. Probably doesn't hurt it either, but we'll see if this does anything. If not, oh well, in the end of the world, it's probably a 5-minute job. So there is the silencer ring. You'll see it is held in by a C-clip. Pry that out and that whole silver piece comes out. I can't hold the phone light and pull that out, so I'll show you what it looks like once it's pulled out. So there is the silencer ring and the snap ring that's on the turbo. Hold on, let me see if I can get this to... See how the one side is beveled? I fought with this because my beveled end was in a really, really hard place to see. So whenever you start this, definitely start on that end. It's way easier to pry out. But here's what the turbo should look like without the silencer ring in it. So let me pull the baffle out of the intake and I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll put it back together. So this is the top part of the hose that goes into the intake. I will be removing that piece too. Looks like it just pushes down through. Let me get this one out and then I'll work on the other one. The other one looks like this. So I'm gonna pull the bottom part of the hose off and see how I can get this out because I haven't looked at it yet. Okay, so the side with the one arrow has this ring. I already took a flat screwdriver and just worked your way around. Be careful because the plastic is brittle. But once it comes out, or once you go around all of it, this should come up out, and then I haven't pried on that yet. And then it's pretty much as easy as that. So you go from that to, well, that's what was restricting it. So let me put it all back together and then we'll get some sound clips. So this is everything that came out of the turbo. silencer ring, snap ring. I did break this. This came out of the top piece. I don't ever plan on putting it back, even if I take the intake off the truck when I do get it. And this was in the barrel. One thing I did forget to mention, you will have to glue the lid back on, since it was factory glued into place. So I'm going to set the phone up here a minute and see if I can catch the sound. This is the truck with no silencer ring or intake on. So this is the first drive with the silencer and the baffle and the intake. Ignore the check engine light. When I did that startup, I left the sensor on the air box unplugged. So, I mean, I could clear it, but it's going to go away by itself. But see if I notice any difference with it. I mean, it's definitely more noise. I doubt it's more powerful, but you definitely hear more turbo noise. Definitely more noise. If I had to do it again, if I wasn't getting a full intake, I would get either AFE has a torque tube, which replaces the baffle part. It goes from the snout of the turbo to your factory airbox, or there's another company that's called Cool Tube. They also make it's like a rubber hose that goes from the turbo to the airbox. I would probably recommend that. I mean, yeah, it is about $100 some, but you don't have to glue the lid back on. I wasn't a super fan of that part of it. Other than that, I mean, it's cool to hear the extra turbo noise. Like I said, 0 horsepower, but something fun, easy to do. But if you have any comments or suggestions, go ahead and drop a comment below and like and subscribe.